All right. welcome, everybody. My name is Rodrigo here, and I'm going to be here with you today. We weren't able to get anybody booked, everybody's sick, but I did want to come in here really quick just to let you guys about something that we just recently put out there, and I know it's going to be really helpful for a lot of you folks. So, it's basically the summer bundle thing. It has Nick Shaheen stuff, and we're going to go over all of it. But basically, you do get everything from Nick Shaheen, like all the trades from him. You get trade ideas. Like I'll show it to you here. Um, it comes with Benzinga Pro. It has a bunch of stuff. Look, you get Benzinga Pro, options mentorship, options starter, pro insider weekly report, stock pick starter. So this is if you're trading stocks, if you're not trading options, right? Crypto starter, Anne Marie Crash macro econ and analysis course, and you get her chat room as well. Introduction to options report from Chris Capri. He's a monster in options as well. Options enhanced, that's from Nick Shaheen. Stock picks enhanced from Matt Maley. Crypto enhanced, and the boot camp library. So you get all that stuff there. There's like 3 plans, but I wanted to show you a couple things there from the chat room from Anne Marie, basically. So you can see a couple of videos just so that you can get a sense of some of these traders, right? So let's just watch a quick
Good
video
morning,
here from Anne
everyone.
Marie.
Today is the last trading day in the month of July, and we are looking at a very bullish set of formations. So let's talk about what I've shifted in our images that we might see. I've pulled in the weekly chart for us to see what's happening because we are in a mean reversion to higher formations. This is the 50 up here. You might want to look at the 30 if you felt like it. This is pretty arbitrary. What it is there to tell you, however, is that there is an average above you that is sloping downward because we are in a bearish market. Okay. But what's happened over the last 1, 2, 3? This is the end of the 4th week. So we'll be moving our images up to last week. We can see that we've been sort of climbing this wall of worry in this bear market bounce. It's making a lot of macro traders absolutely insane because the price action is not shifting with what the economy and the broad market is sending them. But we know as traders, macro views are things to consider, but not things that make us position. Only price makes us position. And so that's the important takeaway here. Here's what we see. Remember, you got to make it simple. Am I above an upward sloping 5? Here's the question. Well, it's downward sloping over here, upward sloping over here. So it tells you you're in a bounce into old resistance. So what is that area? This channel right here is actually last month. Okay, so what we've done is move into the region of last month, and we talked about this every video we had this week. We said, all right, now that we're here, we're going to go for here, and then we're going to go for here, and then we're going to go for here. All right, so this really is the price action event that we are after at the first pass. I suspect after that, it pulls in a little bit and then gives us another rocket to the upside. The market, the market's intention is to take as few people as possible with it, just the way it goes. For the Qs, Kathy Woods has come into her recovery, except for Roku, that absolutely, what a terrible response to Roku numbers yesterday. We have the Qs pulling out of last month's range. That's very interesting. That's very, very, very interesting. All right. So that being said, here's what we're looking at now. We are extended on a daily. Remember, when our price action begins to rapidly accelerate from a very tight moving average, like this one is, a 5, we do have a tendency to see price exhaustion and then a rotation. So it is inadvisable to take new longs at the breakout level on a swing today. Now, you can do it on a day trade. And here's the beautiful reason why. This is a series of hourly candles. We broke through a very clear ledge, 409.47. Now we're up at the 410. We can see from the bigger pictures that we are headed to 412.18 and potentially 415 before it's all said and done. Momentum is high across the board, pullbacks or buy zones. And that's going to be true across the board. Interestingly, very interestingly, although the Qs have moved up and over their edges on the weekly, on the daily formations, we can see that it's still coming into these ledges up here that the SPY has already broken. SPY's up over this edge. This isn't here. So either the SPY is leading or the Qs are telling us eventually that the SPYs are going to stop. One of them is leading, they'll converge and end up doing basically the same thing. What's the takeaway today, folks? You can trade long, right? What's the storyboard? Am I above the 5? 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 Am I sloping? Yes. Am I sloping? Yes. Am I sloping? Yes. Am I sloping? No, just had a breakout. But we know we don't need to buy the tops of anything in a bear market. And even though we've recovered, this is my big picture to say, are we making a shift? And that answer has been yes. We are making a shift. How long we make the shift, where we make the shift to, Depends. Lots of people will pontificate about where that might be. I'm just going to sort of follow along, follow the breadcrumbs. And the breadcrumbs tell me I've got heavy congestion here. And so I'm probably going to collapse somewhere around in here. So fades give us buy zones. We have a lot of option flow that's very positive. Good day. We had a great day with our Amazon butterflies. Those are up 260% at this marker and could go much further. That's why we've only moved to the half size. Questions, give them to me in the Benzinga Pro platform with a little pink, blue. It's blue chat box, not a pink chat box, a blue chat box. And I'll answer your questions for you. Take care, and I'll see you in the Moneyball stream. Hey, have a good weekend.
All right, and that is Anne Marie from the Benzinga Pro. She This is pretty much part of the bundle, the summer bundle. But you will find her trades right here: entries, exits, closing trade alert, partial close. 50% of the trade remains. Tells you exactly what she's doing, and she has these words as well that you can get used to as well. Just to understand, right? But you can have these videos are pretty much like all the time there, right? So you have that chat room. It's a good trading chat room. You should definitely check it out. And the other thing is the chat room here with Nick, right? You have Nick's chat room as well, right? And with Nick, you'll have a live session Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So, this and Anne Marie's chat room and Benzinga Pro and a whole bunch of other stuff here, right? It's all part of the summer bundle. It's the last day to get it, basically. So um, you can find videos from Nick, and you're going to have like live trading videos, but these live trading videos have a lot of education in them. So it's like always like on the backdrop. Let me show you some of them.
Hey traders, Nick here. It's Sunday night. It's the 24th. I've lost my voice. I've had about 5.5 hours of presentation already today. So I will try to speak as clearly as possible. So we can spend our next week is going to be epic, potentially. We have so many things going on. First of all, we have the Federal Reserve meeting. They start meeting Tuesday. They will come out Wednesday afternoon, 2 o'clock. They will tell us what happened and what they decided. And then they will have a question and answer session. I expect that he is the most important thing. Not so much what they do with how many cuts or whatever, but what they say and their body posture. Will they tone down their rhetoric? I expect that they will because of the job situation. I think we've had so many big companies hold back on hiring, and he's listening. We've had so many companies starting to fire people, and he's listening. So when wage inflation gets in line, I think he would let go of the CPI obsession. So he will refocus us onto looking at wage inflation. Anyway, I'm just prognosticating. I have no idea. So I also have no idea what these companies are going to report. Yes, folks, all of these names report in 1 week. Who lets that happen? Who on earth lets that happen? Look at these names: Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Shopify, Boeing, Alphabet, Microsoft. This is like 70% of the NASDAQ right there, minus Boeing. We also have Exxon, Chevron. So Exxon, Chevron, and Boeing all in the Dow. Really? Oh, and PG&E are probably in there. Calamity, right? Everybody's reporting in the same week on top of Fed. So instead of spending hours uh, spinning what they can say, what people will react. Let's just ignore all of it. Let's just strategize on price. What will we do when price does X or Y? Okay, so how the week ended was positive. The candle's green is pretty powerful, and it's across all the indices. This is the S&P weekly, so that's an entire week. So we had a higher high, we had a lower high, and we closed above almost everything in the past month. So it is a positive development. Now, I want to caution you that I expect a dip. Why? Look at it. We have had rallies before that sold off. You're seeing me. I'm tracing them. Rally, sold, rally. They all look the same, right? These three look very identical with this one. So this could sell off. I expect a dip. So what do I do? What do I do when the dip comes? I want to buy the dip. How, when, all the details. I don't know, but I will give you the big picture. This is the same chart on a daily basis. S&P, SPY. I'm not whispering, I promise. So on the way up, I remember this candle. I remember them blowing through 403, 404, 408. Like, where are you going? You should have stopped here. They spent some time up here and then they crashed. We paid dearly for it. We recovered more than half a little bit too easily. I expect a dip. So if we fall into 380, I'm not going to lose my head. I'm going to be looking for something to buy. What? I don't know. I will share. I'll give you an idea. I recently shared an SPY SPX trade that was called a debit call butterfly. I am inclined to repeat it. It provided a lot of profits pretty quickly for those who closed it. They can re-engage. Mine closed by mistake, so I ended up booking more than a double, but I will reopen it by mistake because I forgot to close an order I had open. Okay, so having said that, I'm expecting a potential dip. I'm there to catch it. If it rallies, I'm long enough that I can let it rally and then pick my winners and chase them thereafter. Buy dips on earnings. So the big picture, I expect a drop. I expect myself to look for opportunities to buy it. I'm not going to listen to idiots on TV telling me why I shouldn't buy it because I know what I know and I don't need their opinion. Until I learn something new from the Fed directly, I'm not going to change my mind because Steve Leisman said so on CNBC. Okay, so enough people have stopped hiring. Enough companies have started firing. That's what Powell is looking to see. He doesn't want reports. The CPI is garbage and he knows it. So he's looking for wage inflation to ease off. Companies not hiring like mad, expanding. So tightening belts. That is what he wants to see. All right. So here's another way I can validate this. We're looking at the Dow. We never look at the Dow, but this is a pattern that could, that M, that green M. It's a harmonic pattern. Don't be too involved with it. It is complete, but it has not triggered. In other words, it is already at its first target, but it has not triggered, so it's reactive. Usually those fade right around here. That seconds the fact that there could be a dip, and if it comes, it may fire something internally that technically tells the machine, "Hey, we have a buy here. Let's go." And if it does happen, the second target would be up here, so 5 to 7% above. So a dip is not a reason to run away. That's what I'm telling you here. So what do I want to be long? The cleanest long right now is the SPY because it has the big guys that are reporting: Facebook, Apple, it has Google, enough Tesla, and all of that. And it does not have specifically the junk of the um, semiconductor, for example. So I believe it's the cleanest proxy for quote the market. Okay. Now we have a whole new other segment that's been under fire for so long. It's the IWM. You can take your luck with a little bit of that too. Now, what does Powell's words affect? Will they affect gold? Indirectly, yes, but it's not tradable. Trust me on that one. What is directly tradable from his words? The TLT and the TBT. If his words are nice to markets, the TLT will soar, the TNX will fall, so the TBT will fall. So TLT, that's the price of bonds, ETF, will soar. TBT should collapse if his words are nice. If he's nasty, saying, I'm going to be raising and raising and raising and raising, the TLT will crash, the TNX will soar, rates will soar, the TBT will go higher. Um, Most likely the dollar will go higher, put pressure on gold, not necessarily drop it, put pressure on it, put pressure on everything priced in dollar. So that's the big picture. Again, let's recap. First of all, I would suggest ignoring the news, trading the stocks that report after they report. If you want to throw a blanket trade on all of them, use the SPY. It's a clean look. I expect a dip. I expect myself to look for opportunities to buy the dip. This is a strategic session. This is the big picture session. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I will tell you what to do during the day. On Wednesday, expect me to be long out of Wednesday, most likely. Hopefully on a dip. If we dip big time before Wednesday, I will get long into Wednesday and manage my risk into that. Is this an all in scenario? Of course not. The VIX is still in the mid 20s. That tells me that the market makers are nervous about a lot of things. I should be too. Okay, so the daily chart again, take a look at the SPY. One last look. I expect to drop. And if it drops to here, I expect myself to try to buy the dip somehow. If I get more granular, you can see how the bulls are making headway with higher lows. That would be nice if we can just come down to here, close that little stupid gap, and not fall more than 375, 376. We have a problem at 395. Thank you, Arlene, for pointing that out earlier. We have pretty smart members who are tracking all kinds of data with dark pools and algo trades. And so it there is big money interest in the SPY where we're at. So if we dip to 388, I expect the 395 zone to be difficult on the way up, but it makes it exciting because if we take it out and take out 400, we can get to 412. Let me see if I have lines there. Oof, busy lines. So I'll clean it up later and I'll draw it better for us tomorrow. So to draw the path. So if we drop, I want to buy it to come back to here for the opportunity to break out and get into the fours. Wouldn't that be nice? That would be awesome. All right, I'm going to leave you here because I've lost my voice. Again, don't panic. Ignore the news. Focus on what you know. Focus on what Powell tells you new, not what CNBC tells you new. Powell tells you new. He will say it in plain, simple English during the question and answer session, not in the stupid little statement he releases in the beginning. All right, folks. Nick signing out.
All right, folks. And that was just an example of one of the videos that he posts, that Nick is posting for the members. But he's live Monday to Friday, sharing his screen, talking to users in a live room as well. And every Sunday, um, he collects tickers right from the chat members. You can see right here. Give me the tickers today. You put them in this form, and he goes over them. It's pretty much like 150 stocks. He does it every Sunday. So, what's up, Richard? How we doing, brother? Um, so, just to show you an example of how that Sunday session goes, I'm going to show you this one here. It's from the 24th, but this is just really to show you overall, like, the format of how it is and all that stuff.
It is the 24th, Sunday, back from vacation. We took a 2 week hiatus for that. So let's hit it. AAL was the first requested. I don't mind it here if somebody's trying to get long via credit put spread. I just don't like the airlines. I flew, forgot who, United, and it was absolutely horrific. So I don't know how they're making money, if at all. So technically, this is not a bad place to be for this one. And if it does hold these three ticks, it could get to 16 and a half, maybe even 18. So credit put spread is pretty decent. If there's no earnings, it looks like they just reported. So that's out of the way. Excuse me, I'm struggling with a sore throat. So credit put spread okay. Calls, I don't know. They could work. Call spread, maybe a little bit less aggressive. What? Column N? Yeah, don't worry about that. Good catch. I sometimes paste over there so it doesn't mess up the formatting. Okay, so I upload from Excel. Apple, a great company, clearly, this is not an obvious entry point. Now, the wrinkle is that it is an earnings play this week, and the reaction to earnings are usually binary. Just a sobering fact: 1 out of the last 8 was a positive reaction to Apple's earnings. Yeah, 1 out of 8. So if you're still thinking that it's the quality of the report that actually drive the prices, that means they delivered 7 crappy reports, and they did not. So it is a complete guesswork. Without a report, I'd say buy it at 145 because it's going there without the report. The report is a complete coin flip. So if you feel good about the reaction, you're gambling, you can take a call. If you feel bad, you're gambling, you can take a put, or you can take a blanket statement By the way, this is the same for all the mega caps. They all report in the same week, and on top of it, we have on Wednesday we have the Federal Reserve decision on rates. It's not so much the rate hikes that's going to move the markets, but rather what he says and how he says it. So complete coin flip there again. So wild, 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 potentially wild week. So how do I play this? You make a bet, and if I was you, not if I was you, if I were to make a bet, I would buy a blanket um, call spread of sorts on the S&P to bet up or down. I bet up and I made money and it closed me out, so I may reopen it. What did I do? I shared it with you. It was a call butterfly. Those are cheap and leveraged. I'm talking about it now because I will write it up again maybe next week. Uh, if you expect a good move on Apple, Google, and all of those, might as well throw it on the rest of them in one blanket trade. It's a small cost with a big upside potential, and it's manageable. AbbVie could get to 153 as long as they hold 146. If they lose 146, I would get out and re-engage lower, probably closer to 140. That would be the maybe I drew it. All right. So this is still potentially going. It's just from a lower perspective. This a lot of resistance up here. Okay. A lot of resistance. Airbnb, good company long term. It has a lot of short term resistance, like right above where it failed last week. And then if it does take that out, we can take this one out and borrow that and put it here. So there's going to be another fight here. So if they get to here, they will fade, come back, and maybe try to take it out. These are pretty harsh. Not sure how they're going to handle them on the way up. You can see that every line battle, the Bears have been winning. So step one for the Bulls is to break that habit. How? By not making another lower low. This looks like a better effort than this one and whatever happened up here. Two higher lows. Even if it falls to 100, if it holds 199, 97, that's still good news. Okay, so what you want is drop, but find footing finally, and let's make some. Let's win one battle. That's what the Bulls should be saying to themselves. Actually, this will be a better chart than whatever it's I had in that. Adobe, not an obvious entry point, technically speaking. Up here, that's a lot of, it's stuck between support and resistance. ADM, what is that? Archer Daniels. I don't like the trend at all. Let me see on the daily, weekly. Okay, so I don't like the short term trend, but level wise, this has been pivotal since 21. So one can assume that 68 zone will act as support for now. So if that's the case, then you can say, okay, I'll try longs with a tight stop of sorts. I still would favor it with a credit put spread, but look at that earnings. So you have the same coin flip effect. Again, earnings, you don't know what they're going to do. We don't know what the expectations are from the individual investors. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I moved the mic. Affirm, finally some respect. Right. This is a company that is got a good business, but no respect whatsoever from Wall Street. It has been shellacked as if it's going out of business, and it's got a good business going. It's just young. Finally, they won one battle. They have the same setup here. It's not going to be easy. Look at that fail. But if they do take out the 31, then they can make some progress finally. Let me show you how much decimation this thing has had. Hide. So um, this is going to be an impossibility for now. But let's take it one step at a time. Look at this is a weekly chart. Look at how pivotal that zone is. Not going to be easy. Okay, 120. Go to AG. This is not an obvious bottom, although it is tradable against this candle. If you lose this candle, I would get out. It is tradable, meaning I can take a long and stop out. because 7.4 and that candle below are the two main action points right now. Let me see. Do I have lines? I don't. Let's get this. Do it like this. Updating on the fly. Applied materials. Not an obvious entry point. When the stock falls from here to here and recovers half, they usually stall. I think you might have the opportunity to buy it under 94. If not, if the bulls are able to take this out, maybe they cover this gap and then they drop to 94. We'll see. Either way, I wouldn't want to be long. Maybe one of these that I just drew. Something like this. Maybe that'll work out here. I'm still discombobulated. AMD, almost exactly the same comments as the stock just we went over. There's a gap above. They have momentum. Technically, it should dip to 81 before it takes that momentum out, that failure out. Earnings are coming early August, so I don't know if they're going to pre-announce or anything. So there's that kind of wild cards dangling. So I wouldn't want to do a credit put spread for the earnings. This is a no entry for me up here. Again, I can take a blanket trade on all of them by the SPX or SPY. Exactly. Look, I mean, it's the same chart. Amazon, AMD. You can't even tell them apart. They too, they report earnings this week, and I was just writing an article about Amazon. So clearly, Amazon is cheaper than 60% cheaper than Apple. Amazon, if you can believe that, from a price to sales perspective. In fact, it is the absolute cheapest of all the giga caps from that perspective. Its price to sales is under 3. What does that mean? It means the owners of the stock at this level will be hard to disappoint because they are more realistic than ever about the prospects of growth. So any good news will be incremental pop, in my opinion. It was a good idea to buy the dip. It will be a good idea to buy the dip if it happens. If you want to be long, I can't. I can't fault you for that. Just make sure you pick a position that allows for some wiggle, time wise. Don't put yourself against the wall. So if you're interested in selling a put spread, do it out in time, so you don't get blown out if they react negatively. Uh, APN. I don't remember what it did. Okay, so on the daily chart, it shows some opportunities. This is definitely a resistance area, not area, zone, line. And this is a whole zone. It's not one of those explosions unless they have some sort of news that we can't foretell. They do have support down here now. It's proven, and they stepped up and they built a plateau. Whoops. Oh. So they proved that they can hold this, and now they're proving that they can hold that. So then the bulls may have a platform to spring out of this one and tackle these. Until then, those are going to be difficult. If I'm long, I guess I can wait for it. Take that out. Okay. Aqua, I've never heard of it, by the way. Uh, 37 looks like a pretty tough line if you look left. That has been in contention for a while, so it's going to be in contention going forward. Okay, so shorter term, there is a bearish pattern brewing. It's not confirmed, but it could dip. It's okay to dip as long as you maintain a higher low trend. If you maintain that higher low trend, then you may be able to dip, gather momentum, take that out, and repeat the process here and higher. So it's making progress. Asan is one of those high profile companies that grows fast. And it's basically one of the small crap companies. If you heard me use that term before, nothing has changed. They're trying to base. They have tried it so many times before, like this one. So if you get long, that's fine. Just make sure you're realistic about the expectations, and strong sellers is still correct, and that you stop out quickly. Right now, take your pick. I mean, look at all these failures. I'm going to leave it here. It has room to get up to here, but that's going to be failures. I don't like to do that.
It's going to entice people to get long for no reason. There's resistance everywhere. Every line of resistance is an opportunity to break out. But first base, don't know what that is. Stuck in the middle of a wide range between 270 and 360. So there's nothing to do. 2.9 and 320 is a smaller range, also stuck inside of it. Boeing, I know a thing or two about this company. So we recently did an Iron Condor, and the upper end was tested hard, but it survived. Without an earnings report, which it has in this week again. Oh, really? I would think it would come down to 144, if not 136, and I would buy the dip. In fact, I should put an alert here somewhere. Okay, to pay attention to it. So if it dips, then they may be able to come back and pop. Given that their clients are airlines, I would temper my enthusiasm. I know the CEO came out and said some good things about itself. Hi, Saeed. Uh, then we'll see if they can deliver with numbers. Usually, CEOs don't speak well unless they have something to say. So maybe they will say sing a good tune. Baba, I'm just done with it, to be honest. Great company, great P&L, but what the fudge with all the headlines from China? If it's not China's business, it's China's business against Baba. If it's not this, if it's that. And China is still getting about 1,000 new COVID cases a day, which is 10 times more than what they used to. So I think they're dealing with whatever we dealt with because they flattened the curve so wide. It's going to probably take a decade to work through all of that. I'm not a virologist, but that's my assessment. What does that mean? I don't touch them. If Alibaba is rallying, the market is rallying. I don't want any of the junk that comes with it. Great company. I don't blame you for trying to buy the dip. It has earnings early August. Lose this,
All right, folks, and that was pretty much part of the Sunday session that Nick Shaheen does. Audio is good. Um, let's see what's going on. Okay, is audio good? Okay, audio is good. So that is the Sunday session, but Nick also has a live session. It's somewhere here, but it's not. It's Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and you can join in. It's a session like this. It's going to say live session. Click on it, and there's gonna like throughout the day. There's up to like maybe 350 people. This is an old one. This is the session from like last week, from the 29th. But he will post a new link every day. So you can see there's a comment section here. You can private message Nick. He will show his screen and answer, in that manner, right? It's a lot better, a lot more educational, a lot easier. And this thing, the summer bundle also comes with Benzinga Pro. So keep in mind, you do have Anne Marie's trade, Nick's chat room there, and Benzinga Pro, right? Fully powered Benzinga Pro. I'm going to put the link in the chat. And also make sure to check out these videos from Nick, right? They are included. It's like very important. Like, what is a spread? What's a call? What's a put? What type of trade is best? When and how to book a loss, right? We're talking about risk management here, right? When and how to book profits, and when to book or set a stop loss. Credit put spreads. These are very, very data informational rich videos that you do want to make sure you look at, right? So it does come with other trades, like with other trade alerts, but you're going to get them included. It's a pretty big bundle, right? So it's just the summer bundle. Today's the last day to get it, and the link is there for everybody in the chat if you do want to check it out. Thanks again for watching, folks. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy your weekend, and make sure that for those that joined, check your email. You're going to get a welcome email and some important stuff there to make sure to follow up. So thanks a lot, folks, and we'll see you in Benzinga here tomorrow. Have a great day, folks.